Okay, so today we're going to take a deep dive into
Sounds good.
the TikTok ban.
All right.
Um,
Should
so
be interesting.
it is, and there's been a few twists and turns just recently, so we're going to try to get to the bottom of all this.
Yeah, definitely. A lot going on with this case, and especially I think the kind of the newest twist is pretty fascinating.
Yeah, well, let's rewind all the way back to 2020,
Okay.
when Trump was president,
Right.
and he was,
He was concerned about TikTok.
yeah, he had some national security concerns with TikTok.
Yeah, that's right. I mean that it all kind of stems from the fact that TikTok is owned by
By a Chinese
the Chinese company called ByteDance, and
ByteDance, right?
so that was kind of I guess, the impetus for the whole thing.
Yeah, so Trump basically said, okay, either ByteDance divests its U.S. operations or TikTok faces a complete ban.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And divesting just means selling off a portion of the company or its assets. So in this case, it would be ByteDance giving up control of TikTok's U.S. operations.
okay, so they'd have to sell off that part
Right,
of
exactly.
the company.
Yeah, and I mean, the government's main concern was that under Chinese law, ByteDance could be forced to share U.S. user data with the Chinese government,
Which would be,
which would be a pretty big national security risk
Yeah.
if they had access to all that data.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
what happened next?
Well, TikTok, they fought back. They didn't like this.
Right, they didn't take it lying down?
No,
They said, no, we're not.
they denied any wrongdoing.
Right.
They said they weren't sharing data improperly and even proposed storing U.S. user data domestically.
Right.
But even so,
That didn't stop the legal battles.
no, it did. I mean, it went to the courts.
Yeah.
There were lawsuits filed and court injunctions that put the ban on hold temporarily.
Yeah, so it was kind of like in limbo for a while.
Yeah, total uncertainty about what was going to happen.
Right, and TikTok was saying, hey, this is violating our First Amendment rights.
Yeah.
You can't just ban us, and you're going to be hurting a lot of people.
All the creators and businesses that use the app. It was a pretty messy situation.
And then right as things are getting really intense, Trump says, hold on, pause this.
Yeah, he asks for a pause,
Pretty wild.
which is surprising.
Yeah, huge plot twist.
So some people think that he's trying to appeal to younger voters.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. A lot of young people use TikTok.
Right, exactly. So maybe he's thinking about the next election?
Could be a strategy, yeah.
Or some people think that he's trying to kind of sway the Supreme Court
Oh, interesting.
because they're the ones who are going to...
Right, they're the ones who have to ultimately decide TikTok's fate.
Yeah, so...
It's a really smart move, honestly, even though it's controversial,
yeah,
because it shows that he understands the issue is complex.
it's not just black and white.
Exactly.
Right.
And that might resonate with some people.
So it's a clever move.
It is. But it raises a lot of questions, too, like, could this actually influence the Supreme Court?
And what kind of precedent does it set for other cases involving foreign tech companies?
So let's get into a little
Yeah, let's dig into that.
about what the government's worried about.
Okay.
They're not just talking about your privacy being breached.
No, it's bigger than that,
They're thinking about, like, what if TikTok uses its algorithm
which is very powerful.
to target people with propaganda,
Right. Based on what they watch.
right? What they're interested in.
Their political views, their location.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary when you think about it.
It is.
Like, what if they're using that information to manipulate people?
Yeah, that's a whole other level.
Right.
But on the other hand,
Yeah, what does TikTok say about all this?
TikTok's saying, hey, this ban would be really bad for everyone.
For innovation, for the internet in general.
It could really stifle things.
Yeah, it could lead to a more fragmented internet.
Where information is controlled and...
And global communication is restricted.
Right.
It's a tough situation, for sure.
So it really comes down to this. How do we balance
Yeah.
national security and our freedom?
Right. How do we protect ourselves without giving up our rights?
Especially online.
Exactly.
Is a ban the right answer?
Oh, is there a better way?
Is there something else we can do?
That's the million-dollar question, and I don't think anyone knows the answer for sure.
No.
But this case is going to have a big impact.
Huge.
Not just for TikTok users,
But for everyone.
for the future of the internet as a whole.
So next time you're scrolling through TikTok, think about,
Yeah, think about the bigger picture.
what are we willing to give up
What are the trade-offs we're making?
for security?
And what role should the government have in all this?
How much power should they have?
Big questions.
It's not easy, but at least now you have some food for thought.
Exactly. Hopefully this deep dive has given you some things to consider.
So, yeah, that's it for today.
Until next time.
See ya.